Hi, my name is Dan Other. I'm a professor in civil architectural and environmental engineering at Missouri S&T. I've been teaching online for about 10 years now, so it's not a new platform for me. And part of the reason I'm taking this class is because it seems like it's going to be a requirement for people who want to continue to teach online. I've done a lot of work with CAFE. I've done a lot of work with the prior iterations of teaching effectiveness here on campus, and I'm currently the chair of the Faculty Senate Standing Committee on Effective Teaching. So I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I would say that I'm a person who has some experience and has some experience using the systems that we have at Missouri S&T. In particular, I'm a big fan of using rubrics. I'm a big fan of grading my own teaching using rubrics. And so what I'd like to talk about today are the three things that I think are important for effective teaching online. Number one, I'd like to suggest that I think empathy, emotion is important. Students learn knowledge, skills, and attitudes. And I think sometimes as teachers we forget that. We think that what they're learning is knowledge. It's the cognitive skills. And sometimes we also think that they're learning the skills of doing things, laboratories. And we often think that teaching online is no different than teaching in the classroom. And in fact, it's hugely different. Teaching online robs students of the emotional connection with their professor. We're not teaching the attitudes. And so I think one of the things that's important for online teaching is to remember you need to teach students to have a love of the material that you have a love for. So emotion, empathy, those are skills and attitudes that we need to teach in our students, and a love for the material that we're teaching is something that has to come through in our online teaching. Number two, I think, is interaction. A classroom environment in a synchronous format has huge amounts of interaction. We get a lot of metadata from our students. Are they paying attention? Does their body language suggest that they're following what's going on? We lose all that in an online, particularly in an asynchronous environment. So I would encourage you to spend a lot of time doing think pair shares or think pair listens, getting your students to interact with each other. Discussion board is good, but text is not as good as hearing people and seeing people. And then the third thing that I really like to do in my online teaching is flipped. I think it's essential that the limited time that you would have together with students be spent on answering questions, solving problems in groups, working on higher order thinking. I'm not interested in teaching vocabulary in the limited interaction that I get online. So I think flipped is essential for students to have an opportunity to learn things like vocabulary and basic facts, to learn all that stuff before they ever show up for your classroom, be it synchronous or asynchronous. So I encourage you to focus on empathy and focus on the emotional connection with the students, to think about how do you stimulate interaction online, and to also think about how you use the flip technology so that the limited interaction and time you have with students is spent on higher order learning and really getting them to transfer information into knowledge and application and synthesis. Thanks for your time.